Alright, we're going to try and make this video a little bit shorter, and the next one even shorter than that, but this one is a difficult concept. There's a lot of stuff that I've written in here, so if you print off the blank notes, you could probably pause it from time to time to just fill in the words as I go, or however you want to do it. So we're talking about repeating patterns, and if you look at this, this has a repeating pattern from here, and then it goes to here again, and then it goes to here again. Or what if I would have started it here? It'd go from here to there again, and so on. And so you could find multiple places where it would start. It actually even here, from here down, up to here again, down, up to here again, and so on, right? This is not a repeating pattern, right? So the first thing it's asking me to do here is to consider these, right? So it appears that to be continuing in the same pattern over and over. In fact, it is. We have different ways of describing these functions. Here's some of the terms that you need to know. The first one, again, is a periodic function. Okay? And a periodic function is just something that repeats a pattern of y values at regular intervals. In other words, this repeats to here, repeats to here. This y value repeats to here, and so on, right? This y value does not repeat to there. Those are different. That's 1, that's 2. Those aren't repeating. So then it says, which one of these is periodic and which one's not? So of course, this one is periodic, and this one is not periodic. Okay. Now, from there, it says a cycle is one complete pattern of y values. So it wants us to mark one cycle on this graph. So one cycle on this graph would be from here to here. So that would have a cycle length of 2. Right? Okay. Now, excuse me, that would have a period of 2. That's what a cycle length really is, right? But a cycle is one complete set of values. It could be from here to here. That would be a cycle. It could be from here to here. That would be a cycle. Okay? Now, a period of a function is the distance between the starting x value and the starting x value of a cycle. In other words, it's the distance of a cycle. The period is the distance of a cycle. One cycle is one full rotation. One cycle is one full rotation. The period is the distance of that cycle. Okay? So, I want to find my correct pen here. So again, it says go ahead and determine the period of the periodic function. Again, if I go from 1 to 3, it's 2. If I go from 0 to 2, it's 2. If I started from here at, let's say, 0.4 and went all the way to here, 2.4, it's the same distance. So it is 2. That is our period. Okay? Frequency is, you know what? Actually, I want to go back to this other one and just underline the distance between starting x value and just put length of cycle. Okay? The cycle is the pattern. The period is the length of that pattern. Okay? Now the frequency is how often it happens per unit of time. So really per 1. That's kind of the big deal here. So to find the frequency, we would just go 1 divided by the period. So once you know the period, it's pretty easy to find the frequency and vice versa. Okay? This will just show up in the homework. You'll see that later. Okay? All right. Other ways that we classify a function is through its amplitude. So period is the distance this way. Okay? Amplitude is the distance that way. Okay? It's this vertical distance. And how we find that is we take half of the difference between the max y value and the min y value of a function. Half of it. Right? So I kind of have that formula down here on the bottom. It's the max y value minus the min y value divided by 2. Now think about what a min y value, if you minus a negative, how that zips after to make it a plus sign. Like for instance, if we look at our problem here, the first thing I want you to recognize is what it's saying is period is from the top here to the top here. And that distance is from 2 to 6 is a distance of 4. The period here is 4. It's saying it's 4 units long, so the period is 4. Okay. What I want to do to find the amplitude, though, the amplitude of this, is just take the highest y value, which you can see it crosses by 2, minus the lowest y value, which right here you can see is going through -1. Right here's -2 right here. So minus -1 divided by, again, it's always divided by 2 because of half of it. That would plus to give me 3/2, which means the amplitude here is 1.5. If you wanted to just find the total distance from here to here and divided by 2, it's just 3 divided by 2 gives me 1.5. We'll see some more examples of this in a little bit. Okay, but that's how amplitude works. Then your period, to find the length of it, is just the ending x value minus the beginning x value. What do I mean by that? From here to here is the ending 6 minus 2 gives me only the 4. If I wanted to do it from here, which is 7, to here, which is 11, I would go 11 minus 7 and I'd get 4. Right? There's multiple ways of looking at this over and over and over, but you should always get the same length no matter which point. Now again, I don't want to go from here to here because that's a top one and a bottom one. I go from top to top or from bottom to bottom, and that's something you should keep saying to yourself. What is the distance from top to top, or what is the distance from bottom to bottom? If I wanted to, and this is really gross, I could start right here, right? And right here, right? I go up, down, up, right there. And they go up, down, right? It'd have the same distance. So from 8 to 12, again, 12 minus 8 would give you 4. Okay? Different ways of looking at it. Let's flip to the next page here. And I'm going to do the first one and have you guys hopefully be able to pause and do some of the other ones. So on this first one, the amplitude, the height is 2 minus, the lowest point is negative 2, and we always divide it by 2. So that gives me 4 over 2, which is 2. Okay? Again, it's half of the height. So if you can find this distance and it's 4, take half of it. That's how it is. Okay? The period. Let's go from top to top. That's a distance of 1, 2, 3, 4. So that period is 4, right? It should be the same from here to here, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. From here to here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. Over and over again, the period can be measured the same way. Frequency, if you don't remember that from the previous page, is just 1 over the period. So it would be just 1/4. Simple as that. Okay? All right. Maybe pause it. See if you can try B, C, and D. It's a little bit funny to read D, C, and D, but you can do this. Okay? Try it, pause it, come back, check your answers. All right, here it's 1 minus negative 2 over 2, which gives me 1.5. Yeah, because that would be 3 over 2. The period from height to height is 1, 2, 3. And so the frequency is 1 over that, 1/3. The amplitude here, so the highest point is 4 minus the lowest point is negative 2. Keep in mind it is going by 2's in both this direction and this direction. Divided by 2, so that's 6 over 2, which is 3. Right? The total distance from here to here is 6 divided by 2 is 3. The period. This is really not easy to see, but maybe it is if we just look at it from top to top, right? Top starts at 0, another top starts at 10, another top starts at 20. So the distance between top to top is 10. Right? Could I do it here? Yeah, but that's pretty ugly. Right? I don't even know what that is. It looks like maybe it's 5, and then it's 15 again. Right? 10 is the distance. I could go from maybe this 2. Right? After the big hill, there's a little 2. After the big hill, there's another one here. That's 12. The distance is 10. There's multiple places, again, you can measure the period, but it's oftentimes easiest to go from either top to top or bottom to bottom. Frequency, 1 over the period, done. Next problem, amplitude. The highest point. This is going by 2's. The highest point is at 3. It's not easy to see, but it is. Okay? And the lowest point, of course, is at 0. Divide that by 2, I get another 1.5. The period here, top to top, is the distance of, again, it's only 3 boxes, but it's going by 2's, so it's a period of 6. If I was in class, half of you would get this wrong because you would put 3. I've seen it 100 times. Frequency is 1 over 6, right? Again, if I wanted to go bottom to bottom, from 4 to 10 is a distance of 6 as well. Okay? Then I want you to maybe try and graph some on your own. Okay, this is going to show up again. Okay, the period, and show me something that has a period of 3 and an amplitude of 4. And this is where some of you could get really creative. But there's a couple of things I need you to recognize. The first thing is that if it has a period of 4, that means from top to top it must be a distance of 3. And from bottom to bottom it must be a distance of 3. To have an amplitude of 4, that means that from top point to bottom point, it is not a distance of 4. Because remember, to find the amplitude, it's the distance vertically divided by 2. So really, whatever this is, those points got to be double that apart. They've got to be 8 apart, because if I divide that by 2, that's how I get an amplitude of 4, right? So I'm going to put my points, little precursors here, 8 apart, right, so that I know that. Now, could I have started here and ended here? Sure. Could I have started here and ended here? Sure. But they got to be 8 apart to have an amplitude of 4. Then I also know to have a period of 3 that my tops should be 3 apart. So if I start one here, then I should go 3 apart here. I should go 3 apart here. I should go 3 apart here. Wherever you start, just make sure you're 3 apart. Now again, I know I've got to be on this line for them to be 8 apart this way, but I don't want them to be right above each other because then you go straight down and then over and then straight down. I mean, I guess you could do that because you're sketching it. I'm going to just go 1 in, and then I know I got to be 3 apart. I got to be 3 apart, and I got to be 3 apart. And now I'm just going to connect my dots. Right? This has a repeating pattern, so it's a periodic function. It has a period of 3 because from top to top is 3, from bottom to bottom is 3. And it's an amplitude of 4 because the total distance again is 8, and to find the amplitude we divide that by 2. Okay? Maybe try one on your own. Try this one. Period of 4, amplitude of 2. Okay? Think of what that means and try it on your own, and then come back and check it. Pause it right now, come back and check. Alright, so an amplitude of 2 means 4 apart, because I'm going to have to divide it by 2, so 4 apart. Really, a lot of you are probably going to go from here to here, and that's okay. I'm going to show you that it's okay wherever you go. So I'm going to go from here to here, because those are going to be 4 apart, divided by 2 is going to give me an amplitude of 2. Alright, so there to there. Period of 4 means I've got this first point. I'm going to go 4. I'm going to go 4. It's okay if I can't keep going. I'm going to find a point in between them. I'm going to go 4, and I'm going to go 4. And there it is. Connect my dots here. Now, it must be at least 2 of these to be periodic, okay? And it fit, so we're okay with that. It's got an amplitude of 2, and it's got a period of 4. We're good to go, okay? If you move this down here, if you moved it here and you had it short and then long and then short and then long, that's okay too, as long as they satisfy what we need, okay? These were called tessellations in geometry. Not sure if you remember that. Repeating patterns that you could kind of, remember you can kind of put them like inside each other. They kind of look like that, right? They're based on translations, but not something you have to worry about. All right, a little bit shorter video. That's all you got to do. You're going to come to the next page. I got to still key this up a little bit because I created something a little bit new. And I would either do the evens or the odds on this page. I don't care. Either the evens or the odds. I'm going to post all the answers, so you could feasibly do them all, but you don't have to. Okay, just maybe 9 of those. And then 2 where you have to draw them in on your own. Okay, don't worry about this one. That was for a Inquisit quiz. Not going to worry about that right now. Just worry about 1 and 2 up there. And again, like maybe even the evens or odds of that. Okay, that is Trig 9. Tomorrow, be looking for an even shorter, way shorter video to help you figure out what you're going to do for turn-in this week. But for now, these are the homeworks. Work through them. See what you can do. Have a good day.